for LGD, joined by that Skarner as the final ban in the first phase.
And I'm actually very surprised. Okay, that makes sense. I feel like in general, a lot of LPL teams are just very willing to be one that Gwen, because I'm like here, like scratching my head, and I'm like, Scout would love to be one something like a Yone. So I was expecting that to be potentially the choice right there from JDG. However, it's not gonna be the case. Wait,
Fearless best of ones.
Did we just load up the draft from the previous game? What's happening? Hello?
It's fearless best of ones, you know? You just get to say, if it works, it works. You literally, we're going with a lot of the same pieces here. Was the first pick Gwen. See if Allah can do a little bit better than Zika did last time around. But I love that LGD found something that works for them and are just trying to ride that victory all the way to Group Ascend as the immediate double lock-in of the Xin Zhao and the Talia come through for JDG.
I love this so much more. In the previous game, we saw that it was the Poppy together with the Corki, so not much mid-jungle duo going on right there. However, Shun and Scout have locked in a very potent 2 versus 2 with the Talia plus the Xin Zhao. Lots of side lane pressure as well. You can actually invade Naafiri if you can get the priority through that mid lane. You're shaking your head right here, but you've lost even more lane prior by locking in the Akali for XQW.
Nothing happened. I didn't see anything. You didn't just pick an Akali into a Talia. We'll see how that matchup ends up going. More so, it's just about XQW's recent performances and giving him the sticks on the Akali, saying, we're going with all this damage, we're going with all these assassins, and try to find an in into a very, very kind of team fight-oriented comp from JDG. We'll see what they short things up with in the second phase, but the Nico right now is the ban from LGD in that second phase.
So right here, if there's anything to take from the previous game, we're most likely going to see 80 carry bans coming through. I feel like the Nico in particular is a little bit of a hit on the Varus. Varus-Nico, very potent duo. You still have Kalista in the mix. Kalista-Nico, also a very potent duo. And a lot of these really high prestige 80 carries are going to be left open. Remember how we said 80 carry matchup is not as important as support matchup right here. So Nautilus plus Nico are going to be taken out. And YCX has the funny thing of having R5 and having counter pick right here, which is going to be very important if you want to get Shaoye ahead in the early game.
Yeah, absolutely. And Peyz and Shaoye take center stage for me. Not only because of Xiaoye's recent performances, but the stories, the inverses between them, right? You have this homegrown talent the LGD has been cultivating, bringing him up. You're finding success with him now. JDG said, bring him on over from the LCK. Let's see if we can hit gold yet again with these ADCs that we love to import. And both these guys kind of going at it. Peyz maybe not having the most consistent starts, but still having some of those big moments. Shaoye, literally, you can drop your jaw to the last game as well with the misfortune play. We'll see what they end up getting this time around, though, in this game where the 2v2 might be a little bit more important. The Varus, that lock-in right now for LGD.
I love the Varus here because I'm a huge fan of poke Varus, and right here it's possible. You do not have any dedicated tanks on JDG, so poke Varus can very easily work. You can go Halo Blades as well if you want with poke Varus, which has even better trading situations in terms of like skirmishes, bot lane 2 versus 2s. And if the Alistar gets locked in right here, you could very easily see something like an Enchanter coming through from the other side for LGD. There is so much agency on both of these teams. I see champions literally diving all across the screens, but not necessarily any sticky engage. So if LGD can actually either get an Enchanter to win that bot lane 2v2 or get a hard engage to actually pin people down in teamfights, that would be amazing for them.
I'm curious at the Renata. On base, I think like you can say there's parts that you like and that you don't like. They don't go with the Enchanter. They go with a tried and true engager in the Rel, at least, away from the Renata. And that's giving you that kind of glue to tie the pieces together. Because right now, it's a lot of individuals with very sharp weaponry. But you needed something to kind of get that engage going.
I feel like these fights are going to be so freaking chaotic because, again, there is no necessary CC to pin people down, and you don't see your traditional front to backs. These both drafts are very BLG-esque, what I call them, from 2024, which was when BLG first sported a team with 4 carries and on was their only engage. And now I feel like the LPL has completely caught up to that, and they're playing the exact same style, and whichever team can adapt the most to that will come out victorious. I am worried of the Akali playing into that Talia, specifically since Scout loves pushing that wave and playing towards the side lanes. So I'd like to see how this will go through, and potentially if Scout can get pinned in lane and not allowed to leave.
And when you look at what's been working for these teams, I mean, JDG's mid-jungle has been really good. As we get the predictions coming through, LGD, a solid third for majority. Yeah, for sure. But it is a situation where now we have to really think about that second and third spot. Who's going to be going to the kind of playoff for their group assignment, and who's going to be guaranteed into the Ascend group?
Yeah, I did believe, I'm not going to lie, I did believe in LNG. Wasn't quite the case. But right here in our hands, as you mentioned, if LGD managed to pull a huge upset and beat JDG, they're going to be tied up as we go into the game. This is, if you want to make it to Group Ascent, this is do or die for LGD.
And what's funny is if you do win by LGD, you're getting to play this matchup yet again at the end of the day. So we'll see if they can make it happen. If they can,
sign me up.
It's a fun game. I'm down for it. Absolutely. Even if it's not a fun game, sign me up for it. It'd be a good time. LGD, though, they have been a little bit of a surprise story here in 2025, but it is fueled off the back of that kind of player development. The switch away. We were just talking last game. I mean, Hai Chao was like a 2.5-year veteran for LGD. The project that didn't work out for them, and now trying to find these new pieces, trying to build up from their LDL squad. And they have found good pieces. Like, for a team, a region with so many teams, and to have these kinds of performances, yes, in a split group system, but still against some of the most known names in the LPL, has been very assuring to see for the health of the LPL itself.
Absolutely, and also you have the chance and the choice to import from Korea as well, from the LCK, like Peyz on the other side for JDG, for LGD to stick to their guns and actually develop talent. Not only just develop them, but to see them actually succeed in a league that's freaking cutthroat, man.
Yeah,
Who
it's
let
crazy.
The dogs out? Okay.
Shout out to Kelsey Moser, our producer, making the banger lower thirds. I made a tweet earlier on the social channels like he's hounding something for the I don't remember. The dog puns need to keep going. Yeah, it was me. I'm sorry. I unveiled the system. Yeah, I don't know if this is going to go well for Allah. I think Sasa might get a little bit of a rebuttal here from the Scissors, as he might go right back in with the leap strike. This is the most contested, like, level 1, level 2 top lane setup we've had all day.
Shun, blue buff top. He might lose his entire
send the
bot
pings,
side, but it's
send the
worth
pings.
It. Yes, no flash on Jax, pushing as well. You can see he's sort of hovering towards the top side. I see him leaving towards the top side. There's no way he doesn't want this. He knows there's no flash. He's gonna smite that. He's going. He's doing it.
He's going. Sasa,
that's a
no vision.
Type of early game gangs.
Oh no, Sasa, don't get baited. Okay, I think. Oh, the flash. Shun with the outplay. Shun with the first blood, and JDG make a mark.
And actually, he's not going to lose much, because as you noticed earlier on, Shun did not start with the extra pot. So he has 50 more gold in his pocket. He gets to come back on the map. And Climber did not sniff that this Sinzao started topside. So he didn't initially walk straight inside JDG's jungle. So Shun right here gets to come back with an extra sword and a crystal, which deems him so much stronger in general on the map, and not lose anything for that top lane gang.
You see level 3 secured for JDG's bot lane. Gonna get a nice little response shot there from Shaoye to take away about half of Missing's health. But yeah, we're getting a little bit contested in these lane setups themselves. Climber still needing to be active.
I am very surprised. This is a lethal tempo virus. I am very surprised, and with a big question mark ping in my head. Shun is heading towards that bot side. There will be a wave right here, so they could be looking to dive. There is no barrier on Shaoye. He burned it in a skirmish. Let's see if Shun can make this dive work.
They just go for it here, as now the turret going to be being tanked up by Missing, who just dies to Shaoye. He's looking for another kill at a Peyz, too. Got this chase stacked up, though. Shaoye will end up falling to Shun, who picks up his second kill of the game early for JDG.
Yeah, I feel like Shun was a little bit late to the party because he tried to charge his knock-up on the creeps as he was walking under tower. And then Shaoye and YCX used that time to walk away from the tower. So look at that. 1, 2, gets that knock up onto the Zinza, but then doesn't have the W to connect. Doesn't want to commit onto the Rel because she knows that he has flash. She wants to make sure he gets that one kill, sacrifices the support on the way, but that's a 2-0 Zinzao. And getting that first item early means that you can actually contest Naafiri on the 1v1s and 2v2s.
I really like the awareness that Shaoye used there to just know that he needed to fight away from Shun. Our Twitch predictions, though, I gotta say, immensely one-sided for all the fun that LGD have had. I'm looking at you, Twitch chat. Shame. LGD have been fun to watch. I think they have more than a chance than 10% to take down JDG here, but maybe time will tell how right I am. We are getting into the objective zone. It's kind of like the Twilight Zone, except it's the moment when all LPL teams just want to fight and are bloodthirsty. The Dragon is on one side of the map, 40 seconds till the Grubs are on the other.
Yeah, interestingly enough, YCX is first on the roam towards the top side of the map, and a lot of the times you will also see like bot lanes reset, and specifically since Shaoye died, I expect him to potentially maybe even go towards the top side of the map and try to play for the Void Grubs. It's not going to be the case, and right here you've got a Zinza with Tunneler, plus Crystal, plus Longsword. He's extremely strong on that Zin. He has fallen a couple of levels behind due to those ganks though, but if he can catch up on that level 5 versus Climber, I think there's going to be more than a good enough chance to get that Zinza towards the top side of the map and at least steal a Void Grub away to not give 3 over to LGD.
Hopefully trying to keep that objective stacking down to a minimum for either side. I think we talked so much about JDG's kind of compositional strength when it comes to team fighting, when it comes to objective setup there as well. But that individual strength is still there in these picks for LGD. We see now JDG collapsing onto those LGD members. Those picks that weren't supposed to happen are happening now, and YCX is down.
Yeah, it was a little bit disrespectful from LGD. Because the new Naafiri is always the top side of the map. Sasi doesn't have the TP, so you definitely cannot play in the bottom river. And you know that objectives are being handshaked right now. The Dragon for the 3 Void Grabs. So a little bit disrespect from YCX right there. Walks into the river, gets punished. However, I will agree with you. Before I do, though, Shaoye.
Do you agree that Shaoye is dead? Because I do.
Maybe.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah,
oh, Missing dies? Okay. YCX gets a kill back. Redemption?
Not really. That's a
good death.
Kill,
oh, is that it?
That is absolutely not a good death.
Teach me, Trouble. Teach me.
Okay, a good death or a good death. You can say good death as well because it's good defense, right? Is when somebody takes something away with that death. That was nothing. That was the Realm taking a kill, and there was a tower plating that got lost. A bunch of minions died under tower. Shaoye is screwed.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
how
absolutely.
it is. He is 20 CS behind. He's lost a couple of tower platings off of his tower. And my biggest question mark was just, how does LGD like to play the game? Is I don't freaking know. That is a lethal tempo on hit Varus that Shaoye is sporting in this particular game. And there's not necessarily any tanks on the other side for JDG. Plus, you do not have a lot of frontline in front of your Varus to be able to stand there and get ramped up with auto attacks. So I'm actually very worried as to what is this Varus going to be able to achieve? Because if that was a Halo Blades or a Comet Varus, you get to push out the lanes, you get to actually get some poke down, and maybe a Kali and Jax Naafiri can capitalize onto that. But right now with no frontline, I'm actually very worried as to what Shaoye has to offer in the team fights.
I will say, though, LGD doing a very good job of objective control here. 3 Grubs early, the Dragon as well going their way. So trying to keep their stacking advantages in their department of here, as now we actually get a little bit of movement towards mid lane. There was 3 members hovering around there from LGD, but it looks like Climber will just go back to full clearing. Should be a little bit of quiet on the Rift, as now JDG looking for a little bit of something in mid lane too.
Yeah, ball supports hovering around. There isn't necessarily much happening. It's just I feel like Missing is just joining Scout to help him push out that wave. However, XQW took the wrong route. You just have to walk around your jungle. XQW, just walk around your jungle, mate. Like,
he got real lucky
you're
there.
not getting close to that wave. He lost all the gold from that. I think he got some of the experience. But the second you take that route, I think you need to make the loop around. Now Shaoye has been deprived of more gold and experience, and we mentioned how important it was for that Varus to get ahead. I feel like, again, not going for the poke iteration has really hurt that LGD bot lane.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like things are going well across the board. Oh, no. He lost the cannon and might die for it. See if Scout can actually throw these rocks the right way.
He's going
Weaver's
in.
wall coming in. One more. Oh, he can't find him in the shroud.
him.
Here comes missing, though. Oh, and Sasa just appears out of the bush. Two ninjas, but I think XQW might just make it out. Oh, no. The big cow finds him in the end, but still, it'll be a nice pickup from LGD.
A very great roam from Sasa right there to defend his mid laner. XQW overextends twice in that mid lane. Scout feels like he wants to capitalize onto that, but it was a very great play. XQW actually sat behind Scout, dodging the Qs. Let's watch this one more time. So XQW on the ramp uses the RE to try and trade onto Scout, uses the R2 to get out, misses the cannon, very importantly, and the Scout just straight up just runs him down with Qs. He's gonna ult in, and that's the clever play. XQW goes behind him. You cannot hit behind you with Qs, but Scout thought he actually was gonna move forward. Very, very clever play from the mid laner of LGD.
You love to see it. Little moments of brightness there in when we were talking about some issues that XQW was facing. We were doubting the Akali, and honestly, that'll be twice that we doubt picks and they work out potentially if XQW continues to find things. We are getting on first items now, though. Sundered Sky completed for Shun. That's a big unlocking factor for the Zinzao. Also, the Eclipse for Climbers. So Jungler's going to be a little bit more active, it feels like now.
Yeah, and Shun is actually ahead from all these shenanigans versus Climber, which was not necessarily the case.
XQW forced the flash away from Allah.
That's a really fun matchup down the bot lane because it's kind of like assassin versus assassin. However, because of the sustain from Gwen, you cannot necessarily 100% to zero her. What you can do, though, is bring the Avengers down bot.
True. Unbreakable Will available for missing, so it could be a massive tank for this bot lane play. It looks like LGD realized the better of the play after the TP is coming down. They will back off of it. So nicely respected from LGD. Nothing else going to come on the map here. And that's where I think during that whole time, Shun did take the 3 grubs over there. So we have split those grubs. I was talking so much about LGD's objective dominance, objective control. Well, now things are even, and they're still down 2,000 gold.
Yeah, I feel like Scout pressuring towards the top lane and then actually pressuring down bot with that TP to defend the dive. They didn't really lose anything. There was an entire wave pressured on the top side by Scout, and then when he TP'd in, they just pushed out whatever was down the bot side of the map. So right now, I feel like JDG need to not overextend and actually play around their Zinzao. I feel like Shun is going to be their moving gear for that mid-game to late-game transition. He's found a Fury.
Yeah, I said I want to see the jungles tussle. They got their first items. They do so. We're being looked at by missing. Peyz keeping a little bit of presence in mid lane as well. Dragon's coming up in about 45 seconds. Would be a second dragon for LGD if they want to play towards it. Got to think about what side lane means now, because we're getting the Jax answer into Scout in the side lane, and we're getting XQW versus Allah in the top side lane as well. Mid lane turret is under siege, and Shun just goes over the wall into Climber to get a decent amount of damage. But that dang dog can go untargetable as Allah pops the needlework on XQW.
Yeah, they're going to use their ultimates right here for the JDG just to get priority. Look at that. Talia pushing bot, Gwen pushing top, and then you have Peyz commit his ultimate to push mid. However...
yeah, YCX took a bold engage right there. Had to flash out of the other side of it. Another Mystic Shot connects. Oh, XQW found Peyz. Maybe looking for him through the Shroud, trying to pick off the ADC. Perfect execution used as an exit tool. JDG feeling strong still in this setup. Get another play for Allah in the side lane. Get TP as well from Sasa.
And that is the time to invade. XQW sent back to base. TP replied on the top side. Scout pushing bot and Peyz pushing mid. They've got full control of the bot quadrant. They're laying down their vision. They can turn down to take that dragon because you know that everyone's on the resets. Shaoye does not have the ultimate. He has to expend mana to push in that mid lane wave. JDG
Don't do it.
so
Don't do it.
on the
Oh, he's going to die again. No way. He is going down in a whole heap. As Shun comes up with another kill. Dragon is up, but they aren't even going to send many members that way. It's literally just going to be Scout and Shun. And they should be able to secure this dragon and yet even up another neutral objective.
Yeah, this is where being a rookie comes through, right? Because there's no way you were contesting that dragon. You walk into your jungle, you see your jungle empty. They're obviously going to be towards the bot side of the map or resetting, but you have no commitment into this dragon pit because you do not have any vision. Your Varus is made, your Akali's bot. It's literally a two-man unit, and you're not necessarily very tanky. As you can see, YCX just about upgraded his first support item as well. So a little bit of a whoopsie right there, giving 1 kill over, and Shun 3-0-2, very, very close to his Black Cleaver as well. And once this comes through, Ezreal's going to start hurting even more through that armor pen.
And it's just going to be so hard to lock him down as well. And you only have a couple options with the kind of Chains of Corruption, either Crash Down or that Leap Strike, Counter Strike combo there. Going to be harder and harder to get that through. Still looking to see how Shaoye gets active. He does have that Blade of the Rune King now. So some of that attack damage, some of that on-hit style coming through already. But you see it here. Hard to get the damage down onto Peyz when he's popping shots into you with the Mystic. And
He's
now,
still levels up.
Yeah.
Okay, one now,
it's so
but
hard.
still.
He wanted to get the Essence Flux there onto Shaoye, get a little extra damage. But Sasa taking the
my
1v1 into Ala. Ala trying to pop the needlework. Emergency button hit, but that emergency button is not enough. They get the fight onto Missing here as Sasa had taken the 1v1 against Ala. Oh, wait, what? XQW is down at bot lane.
Yeah, Shun dived that bot lane tower together with Scout. And right now, there's a cow underneath the tower, all alone. Peyz, look at him, he's through the jungle. He could very easily transition towards the top side of the map. However, Scout is going to take yet another tower. Missing.
Might actually get some decent chunk damage onto the climbers. Mystic shot after Mystic shot. Just take down the little puppies. And he does take the side lane turret. Dude, right? Like, he's literally the same player. But the thing is we're not getting those consistent, turn this into a win style situation from Scout. He's definitely a very different player in terms of that consistency than maybe even a couple years ago, than maybe even that time on LNG when he got the double MVPs. But here we take a look at that 1v1.
Yeah, I feel like the Ignite came way too late from Ale. Also, the ultimate through to get a healing back came way too late. And XQW baited.
Oh, he still died. I was gonna say I thought he got out. He just stayed under turret, and Shun is pretty strong. Did burn the flash though.
Was missed.
Yeah,
everything
that was
missed.
a little
The
tough.
W was missed from Talia. The W was missed from Xin. Shun had to flash to get the connection onto the Akali. However, that's a 3-0-3. Zin's a 1k up. They're going to pop the Reef Herald right now into that mid lane. Try and open up the map a little bit further. The TP.
Sasa, this is the breaking moment. YCX is already half health. Speaking of breaking, maybe they just broke the back of Scout. XQW cannot get the kill onto him. And now JDG can reset their positioning. Peyz getting low on mana, but still able to pump some Mystic shots in. The mid lane turret is low, but JDG holds strong. And they're looking to take this outer turret.
Yeah, and LGD, it's not like they earn anything off of that. Even if they killed right there are no objectives. However, they're looking at Ale. There is still ult on XQW.
Ala, yeah, he's definitely in some trouble. I mean, Sasa looking for the in-between onto Shun. Counter-Strike going to go down. XQW looking to clean up Ala. Here comes the dogs. Ooh, nice little crescent guard there as well. They get the kill back, but no, who's going to be cleaning up the kills now? Ala, of all people, going to snip the life away of XQW. Little Climber wants to go back in. Climber's got the untargetable, got the crash down for YCX. Ala still pumping, still kicking, and still snipping. He goes untargetable. Ala one tap, but he can't die. Who's going down? Climber low, but he gets the Darkened Daggers. He's getting low, but Missing is here now, and Climber no escape. Peyz gonna take down YCX, and it's catastrophe for LGD.
And welcome to the LPL, because while this was going on, there was absolutely nothing earned or lost on the other side of the map. There's no objectives, there's no towers to be taken. Scout can barely even finish that mid lane tier 1 that was standing on 1 HP.
Oh my god. Is he going to solo bola Shaoye that gets the barrier out? Missing. That was a really good flash, but he's just not going to make it. Missing claims another kill. That's 3-kill Alistar, by the way. Put some respect on that cow's name.
Yeah, put some respect on that hat he's wearing right there. That was actually a good iteration of how to get away from dodge from Shaoye. But let's have another look at this fantastic skirmish for absolutely no reason, because other than we're the LPL here. Shun gets caught, but he's actually too tanky. He's actually 2 levels up and a couple of levels. Sorry, 2 items up and a couple of levels. So he's pretty damn tanky. Ale gets free time to free hit, and everyone is so squishy. 2 levels up on Climber as well. Great dodge on the crash down from Ale.
Ale was
by
cooking.
All this time, we have
Oh, Peyz, out of all people on the Ezreal, we talked about being so safe, still has cleanse, dies in the in-between, and now Climber wants to keep going. Have that reset off of the kill. Now moving over to the dragon. Would be the second dragon for LGD. Looks like JDG are still in the area to contest.
And Sasa is all the way down. You'll see him now showing up in mid lane. He's not actually. He's going to turn around, seeing how JDG is not going to contest that. He's going to go sub Ale from pushing that top side tower. Ale and Sasa going at it, and LGD are going to take that dragon for free. They're still going at it.
Needlework had been popped, as well as the Grandmaster's challenge. Going under turret. Ooh, Needlework. Gonna tickle Sasa there as XQW. Actually had a little bit of a flank angle. Ooh, Climber has to go untargetable. Shun is still very strong in the skirmish. Chains of Corruption available for Shaoye, waiting for him to pull the trigger on that. True Shot Barrage coming across as well. People just trying to fire shots left and right. Meanwhile, top lane. Meanwhile, Sasa gets the solo bolo on Ala. Gets taken down by Scout in the end, but that might just be worth it.
Sasa's had Ala's number twice now. The double solo kill onto the Gwen with Ignite. Hold on.
Oh, Chains of Corruption goes wide. Shun feeling confident, goes with the Crescent Guard into the fight. YCX getting away at least. Gets hit back by the Seismic, and that's it. Scout cleans up another kill. They're going to transition this to top lane too. It's split the diff in the jungle.
I'm just so confused. Because I'm like, had that been a poke Varus right there, you would have some impact, throwing Qs, throwing E's. But right now, Shaoye didn't have the chance to throw a single auto attack. We have another TP, XQW, TP Redemption. Can you get anything done?
He didn't die immediately this time. That's a positive. He's not seen. Another TP is coming down. That is Sasa. That is a real deal. That is the problem. TP coming in from Ala as well. Scout trying to get away from XQW. This is hella chaotic, but I love it. Peyz coming over on the side. Scout still buying time. Scout takes down the wonder of Climber. And now Sasa is just in a 1v4, and no weapon can get you out of that one, Jax. XQW survives, but still the TP plays come to haunt LGD.
Yeah, they're so desperate, and it's not necessarily as if LGD have a play on the other side of the map. They had Shaoye barely push that mid lane tower down, get it to half HP. There's nothing to be gained from these skirmishes other than maybe take a couple of the shutdowns from JDG, but it wasn't even the case. Scout is 3.6k up on that Akali. Only Rocket Belt in the inventory for XQW, and you're 3 items deep for Scout.
Yeah. I mean, this is a guy who's had a lot of criticism levied towards him. I love that little lower third that Kelsey had put up. 7 and 2 in the placement stage here in Split 2 on Talia in general. But man, to see Scout working people like this is a wonder.
Yeah, he dodges the E from Akali right there, and just
puts
as
down the ground.
Land, just stops him with the W. It's such a great play. Flashed early on the counter strike from Jax, and then at that point LGD was too overextended.
Whoa, we're getting into a fight. Crash down with the Magnustorm used, but Sasa is already going down. That's your saving grace. Your Jax is gone. You are cooked. As the Scout getting followed by XQW. That was one of the coolest combos I've ever seen. He does end up having to immediately get out, and they'll still lose the tier 2 here. And missing goes up to 6,000 assists in the LPL. One of the legacy players, and what this new JDG roster has been built around.
Absolutely. So aggressive as well. Very close to Shahu on assists as well. Only 79 away. And I'm saying only 79 because this game alone has 17 kills. And missing has been part of majority of them, if not all of them.
Don't look at the rest of the numbers because the difference gets very big.
Yeah, Mako in particular was like 9.5k. Excuse me, what?
That's what happens when you play the league for 10 plus years. Oh, goodness gracious. As we take a look back at this one, this was a chaotic fight. Look at this. Follow.
So funny. We usually have the teleport being tagged by Akali E, and then suddenly you see Akali sort of like diving through the entire map to follow the teleport, but this time around it was a very cool iteration. Not that it ended up resulting to anything, but it was just fun.
He did have to burn the flash, was a little unfortunate, you know, but
yeah, well,
cool.
It did. We'll give him style points because so far that Akali did not come into fruition. I feel like champions like Nafiri, like Kha'Zix, like Kindred, like Vi, they really do thrive with priority lanes, and LGD just did not give Climber that. Like, you're playing into a counter matchup in the mid lane. Your Varus is supposed to beat Ezreal, but you've got an on-hit Varus to kill whatever imaginary tank is over on JDG, which means no lane prior for that Varus. And your only saving grace was Jax, but they didn't necessarily play around this over on the top side of the map. So I feel like LGD really, really did themselves a little bit of a injustice by having that red side and not necessarily getting any counter picks down.
We are now cresting over onto 3 items for a couple carries on JDG's side of things. Their team fight does not get any easier to manage from LGD's point of view, and the Baron could be on the table at any second for JDG if they want to force the hand, try to get some resources out of LGD, and that seems what they've decided. No vision over here for LGD. Baron started up, already almost half health. Climber trying to come around the corner, but I don't think they're going to make it in time. They have a hell of a pincer maneuver here as well with XQW and Sasi on the other side of the fight, but he's already about half health.
Scout?
Now you got to get Climber in there. Climber has to do something here. Climber is on the Nafiri, and he's a massive member, but now he's getting soloed in a 1v2 against Ala. Ala just single-handedly smacked down LGD, said no, not today, my young ones. As soon as in a 1v2, maybe going into a 1v3 here, but still feel pretty confident as the wind becomes lightning, he becomes myth, and he becomes legend in this game. A double kill, looking for more, maybe a triple. Give it to him. He's trying to get the last little bits of LGD. Not going to find the kills, but lasting damage done to LGD's base. Their hopes, their dreams of trying to fight for that second place are vanishing before their very eyes.
Yeah, and if you were wondering what a top lane B1 Gwen should look like, that's what it should look like. Ale completely demolished that team fight. Sure, they're ahead, but Ale's pretty even in his own matchup, but he has found the backline. He's found Shaoye through that play that we just watched, and he did 6.6k damage in one fight when he shouldn't even be the member to pop off. Oh no, that's enough to be. Eats XQW again. No, mercy.
Hey, he might find something here at least. The rest of LGD collapsing over on a miss. Oh my god, Peyz is doing so much damn damage. What do you do against that? Now TP go. Oh. Now, anything you can do, I can do better, is what Allah says. Missing the chains of corruption. Shaoye is gone. That is so unfortunate. And I just want to say this is not the way LGD wanted to go, as YCX will have to give his life that blast cone, just denying the inevitable here as they try to collapse onto Shun, but Shun is healing so much from the Sundered Sky. Crescent Guard to get the kill, throwing some style points on it with a seismic shove from Scout. There is nothing that LGD can do to save their hopes of a second place finish in Group D. JDG, they might have looked wary, they might have looked a little bit chaotic sometimes, but they will inevitably be the second place finisher of Group D, and they will also secure their spot in Group Ascent. Sasi wants to give them a run for their money one more time, but the last Nexus turret is down at JDG. They've borne their teeth, and they sunken them into the LPL and into LGD.
A mixed match of players from JDG just mashing so well together, and I feel like I criticized them because I was like, that's not how Scout was playing in LNG, and now he has to change his playstyle. And then Shun was put on facilitating junglers in BLG, and now he gets to play the carries. And with the whole BLG-esque scheme of playing 4 carries and 1 engage support, for JDG, when they have so much skill on their individual laners, it just makes sense.
It just makes sense. I was a big believer of JDG coming in, not only because of Shun, obviously I'm a big Shun fan, but the other pieces of this, I think my biggest question mark, actually, which is hilarious, was missing coming into the year, coming into the split itself, trying to find consistency from this guy who literally this roster, he's like the only one remaining from that legendary team just over a year ago. So I think they've shown some of the struggles that maybe coming together as a new super team can represent, but seeing this steady progress of, okay, we know how to win this game, we know how to pick a strategy that works, and their strategy was clear cut from the very beginning, Trouble.
Yeah, and I feel like, oh man, they shot themselves in the foot from the side of LGD. I still have so many question marks coming through from draft. When you're red side, you need to at least, when you have an aggro jungler, give him 2 out of 3 lanes of prio to be able to play around, to be able to get those invades through. And I feel like Shun was also so clever over in the early game, specifically when he ganked for that top lane. Like, Climber did not sniff that happening. He could have instantly invaded, taken 3 out of 4 quadrants of this jungle. It just wasn't quite the case. They didn't have the priority. They couldn't get into these objectives. And just JDG and particularly Shun, they were just one step ahead in diving, creating opportunities, playing that early game.
They were just scrappy, and I think just taking advantage of some of the slip-ups that we were seeing from LGD. Also, like, comparatively to the last time we saw Climber on the Fury and not looking at the first time we saw it, like, even that one was pretty good, but the proactivity between the 2 different games is just so vastly different, and that has a lot to do with the lanes that you're talking about, kind of the cohesion between the team itself. But like you said, if you're going to go for something like that, something that had worked for them so many times in a row, or at least going for that comfort, you'd want to see something built around it a little bit more, and I think you can ask a little bit more of that bot lane for LGD and try to find something. I mean, you literally have Photic and Zhuo. You'd want to be able to try to put up a fight through them, but we just haven't seen that either. So moving forward, they will be in 3rd place for LGD. They will be looking at that kind of playoff tournament to decide if they go to Group Ascend or if they truly end up being in Group Nirvana. And I think more games is going to benefit this team.
Oh, absolutely.
It's one-sided, man.
That's what I meant. You're going into a game where everyone's glass cannon, the Gwen, the Talia, even the Xin Zhao, the Ezreal. There is no dedicated tank. And you're giving me on-hit Varus. It hurts my heart, man. Like, there is no way. If they had like 2 or 3 tanks in the team, I could see it. They could earn time in these team fights for Shaoye to be able to stack up. When you have Rage Blade kind of AD carries, on-hit AD carries, lethal tempo AD carries, you're looking for 2 to 3 item spikes, and you're looking for front lines to allow them to ramp up in these fights. And Shaoye had neither. That was the perfect poke Varus game you could have played. They even lost prior through bot lane, which for a Varus versus Ezreal matchup, this is very uncharacteristic.
We're taking a look back through some of these highlights here as well. There were some moments that LGD put up a really good fight, but then it just seems like JDG always had the correct Mac movements at the right time. And it played a lot to that compositional strength from JDG. And we have seen them rely on compositions that look like this from time to time. I'm struggling to think who I would give MVP here for this one, because I think there's a lot of options you could go for. My first thought was Allah, just for some of the massive pressure sinks that he forced them to put onto him, but also in the end, those like multi-group team fights that he was just like 1v2ing, 1v3ing people. But the setup to get there relied on Shun a lot of the way.
Allah, props to his team fights, he got solo killed twice. from Sasi.
That immediately takes you out of the conversation.
Right? So he's out. He goes solo kill twice. I think it was all Shun in the early game. I love the fact that as a Xin Zhao, he's caught up to not starting with the extra pod. So when you have your first base, you've got extra items, you're stronger on the map. This is very important, playing into that Nafiri and getting that extra kill over on the top side of the map. He got back with a full tunneler on the map, which deemed him very, very strong in those 1v1s or 2v2 skirmishes. And I feel like he was all over the map. He was playing for that early gank. He played for his clear. He had really good wards and really good vision onto that Nafiri. He played for those bot lane dives. He played together with Scout. He led the map pretty much on every single one of these team fights. So Allah was great in those team fights, but I feel like Shun's early game really did dictate the pace of the entire game.
That's going on the highlight reel, man. That was fun to watch. Yeah, and again, like, to get to this point, you have to have build up. Yeah, I think you did. I think you did. I think it was pretty easy.
Nah.
No, I don't think so. But I appreciate you reinforcing it and making sure you're convincing everybody else around here To give the. What's funny is our producer Kelsey mocks me all the time for Shun being my favorite player because she hates Shun. So we have the duality of maybe we'll see if he gets MVP, and then I'll probably put some question mark pings on my face by our producer. I do wonder though.
Really funny.
What?
Okay, so I'm not the biggest Shun fan either. You know this from last year. You know this, but I've always said one thing. I absolutely hate Vi. From the deep bottom of my gut, I hate Vi as a champion. And I've said, you B1 Vi only under 2 conditions. One of them being you being Shun. Like, he is the only guy who gets a pass on B1ing Vi. And that's it.
Okay. I like it. Well, hey, you give him the pass. I'll be happy to be there to cheer it on. We will get our MVP